back to another video. With the new year quickly approaching, I thought I would share with you some of the things I do to set my goals, some of my goals, and also how to not just to write them down but to actually achieve them. So the first one is setting your goals through the SMART method. So SMART is actually an acronym for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. So let's start with specific. For example, rather than just saying you want to exercise more, you could think about how often and for how long. Let's say a daily walk or workout for 30 minutes. And if you want to sleep earlier, you could say something rather than just saying sleep earlier before 11:30 every day. That way you know exactly what you want to achieve and we can work on how to achieve it. So once you have that, the second one is how you'll measure or track your progress. For example, if it is a habit, you could use something like a habit tracker, or just basically how you'll know you have achieved it when you go and review your goals. If it is something like eat more vegetables, you could meal plan every week and incorporate more vegetables into every meal. So it doesn't necessarily have to be something that you track all the time. It might be something that you track monthly or even review it once in a while just so you know that you are on track. This also works with the attainable aspect, so you can set little goals along the way to help you achieve the big goal. So let's say you want to read 12 books in the coming year. You could set a goal for one book each month rather than thinking about it as a whole. Sometimes I feel like if I think about the big goal, it can get a little bit overwhelming. So I like setting little goals that kind of help me achieve that big goal. When writing down your goals, also keep in mind why it is relevant. For example, why do you actually want to achieve this goal? And I think sometimes writing that down will make you also more motivated to do it because you are actually thinking about why this goal is something you want to achieve. And lastly, set a time frame for your goal. For example, is it something you want to achieve for a month, each month, half a year, or the whole year, or even if it is something you want to work on in the long term? Now, creating goals is really easy, but how do you actually make it so that you do end up achieving your goal? And I think the big thing in a lot of instances is actually making it into a habit. And these habits, I think, often start with little things like, for example, you could have a habit tracker that tracks a certain habit you're doing, or it could be ticking off something from your to-do list every day, or it could be having something there every single month that reminds you, hey, like, this is your goal, like, this is what we should do to achieve it. And I think having those little reminders is really helpful. One of the things I use to help me track my goals is a planner or a diary, and I think this is super useful to have. You can use it to write down your goals in, to keep track of your goals, and also to keep a to-do list. You can use like the monthly calendars to kind of like write down certain things, and if your goal is organization, then I think definitely having a planner or like a diary can be really, really helpful. Now, which planner is the best one, you may ask? And I feel like that really depends on your own preference. So this one is the Mosrey planner. It looks like this. They have new layouts this year. So they have the vertical one and the horizontal one. And for this year, I got the vertical one since I feel like it'd be really nice to plan out the day. But this one is probably the only planner I really use throughout the entire year, and this is what the inside of it looks like. So this is their old layout, but it worked really well for me because I would just put in here any events or anything that I have, and then on this side it would just be my to-do list. So that works really well. And I think a planner is great because I've also tried bullet journaling, but I just like how I have the whole year at once. So as you can see, I have my 2 bullet journals. So this one was from Archer and Olive, and this one was Amanda Rach Lee's. And I honestly love bullet journaling. The only issue with it for me personally is that, as I said, I like having the whole year. So if anything does come up, I can have it already in the plan. But with bullet journaling, I kind of did it a month at once, and then sometimes if I was too busy, it would be kind of hard for me to figure out a layout. But yeah, this one is fabric. I love how pretty is the design of it. The only issue with the fabric is that it can sometimes get a bit dirty, as you can see here, whereas this one, the faux leather, held up a lot better, and I really like how it feels as well. But they're both really good options if you're into bullet journaling. So yeah, this one is the Erin Condren vertical layout, and they've kind of changed their layouts a bit. This was from a couple of years ago, but I think the vertical layout is kind of good if you don't have a lot to do. Whereas like or if you want to kind of separate out into your day, because there's like 3 spaces, so you'd have things you want to do in the morning, things you want to do afternoon, in the middle box, and then things you want to do at night. I've also tried their academic planner as well. This one was particularly for academics, and it looks like this on the inside. I'm not sure if they've changed it though, because this was from a couple of years back, but there's like a to-do list on the side and things like that. The only thing that didn't work for me, which was kind of the same for the Kikki K planner, which I don't have with me, but it's how Saturday and Sunday are kind of combined, and for me, I do a lot of my things on the weekends, so that didn't really work out for me as well. But otherwise, if you're someone who does a lot of things in the weekday, Kikki K and this academic planner from Erin Condren are pretty good options. And then the other one that I got was the horizontal planner, which inside looks like this. And this, every year they have kind of something new. So this was the year they had like the flower theme, which was so pretty. And horizontal layouts most of the time work the best for me, just because, like for example, in this little section on the side, I just put in any events or due dates and things like that, and then I can just have my to-do list, or if I don't really fill it up or anything, I can have like a highlights of the day or something here. So yeah, I love the horizontal layouts, but it kind of is just about choosing a planner that works best for you. There's not really, I think, the best planner out there. I think, yeah, as I said, it's just kind of picking what works best for you. If you're not someone who's into kind of like planners as much, these are also pretty good as well. So this one is like just got the hours on one side, which is actually really helpful, especially if there's a day where I really need to visualize how I'm going to use my time. And then there's like a top priority section, appointments and things, and notes. And then there's also this one was from a few years ago from Kikki K as well, and this one I kind of use if there is a lot for me to do in one day, but there's also like priorities and things like that, so that one's also pretty good. If you prefer it kind of like in a book, I really like the productivity planner. Like, it's undated, so you can actually put in like things here, dates and things, and they have like prioritizing what you do as well. So this one's also pretty neat. I already have my matcha ready. I used this new cup today. I've never used this one to have my matcha in, but it looks like this. And let's start. So this is actually something new I'm trying this year. So usually I set out my goals like you see in the first clip, but this year I decided to try and write down my manifestations and also some of my goals as well, as if it had happened. So I saw this from, I think it was Alicia Marie, who talked about writing down kind of her goals as if they had happened. So it's kind of like you writing a diary entry, at the end of 2023 of all the things that happened that year, and so I thought I would try that out. It was kind of therapeutic but also quite challenging at the same time, because usually when I write it out as a list, I can kind of see everything that I've written and I kind of categorize it, but writing it down as if it was like a diary entry kind of had to make me think a little bit more, and also it was kind of like me reflecting a little bit on the year, but a year that hasn't happened yet. "2022 has definitely been a really big year for me. I've definitely learnt a lot and I think grown a lot as well, and I hope I can do the same thing next year. And yeah, I would love to hear some of the goals and things you guys are thinking about working on or are going to do in the new year. And yeah, let me know down in the comments below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for all the support in 2022. It truly means so much, and I can't wait to see you all in the new year. Happy New Year, everyone!